Hello fruit friends, today is May 24th. We had a pretty warm day today, maybe got up to about 100. I think maybe it would have been our first 100 day this year if we got to 100. I'm just going to show a couple of my fruit trees. Here's a pitanga or Surinam Cherry, and this originally was a tree strictly growing the vermilion variety, a grafted tree I got from Montoso Farms in Puerto Rico from my friend Brian Bruner. Hi Brian. And that was in 2008 that I got it, and took a few years before I got fruit, but it's fruited pretty well. I grafted onto here a selection that my friend Marta in Davis started from seed, called Guruja Red. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I have difficulty with some of these odd names, but these fruit are generally a bit smaller, but less resinous flavor in them. They ripen earlier for me than the vermilion. This one's been bird damaged, but I don't mind that. And a bit, well, you know, it doesn't have the ribs on them as much as like the vermilion, but they are Surinam Cherry, and they're quite good. They don't give me multiple flower sets as much. I do get a secondary flower, I think, last year. But they're earlier and they're very nice. I like the variety. The vermilion, on the other hand, I just got a fruit with 3 seeds in it. It was larger, but it has 3 seeds. I'll just show over here. I got a couple, maybe 3 varieties of Cherimoya and a sweetheart lychee I'm doing some air layers on. Haven't had great success with this variety fruiting for me. I want to maybe do some air layers and use them for grafting of other varieties. Back to the Surinam Cherry, though, the vermilion, I get fruits over most of the year. I think I even picked some in January and February that, you know, set late, and even though we got down to below 30 degrees, they still hold on and ripen up later. I should prune this back some and thin it, blocking the way here some. Now here's a Sabara Jaboticaba that I bought around June of 2008, and it's approximately 14 feet tall now. It's got fruit. Each year is getting a lot more. It's got a lot of fruit way up high. Last year on the first fruit crop here we got 55 pounds, and so we should have more than that. Not real eager to do all that work of harvesting it, but I'll maybe do it. Sad to say our farm worker for the past 3 years, he had a unexpected medical problem recently and passed away, so we're quite busy as it is right now. Sad for the loss of his children especially, but it's got us real busy here too. And last year he did all of the picking of the fruit, but it's a pretty interesting tree, that's for sure. It's pretty impressive. I think that probably in Northern California, you know, this tree produces more than others. Jeff Earl in Modesto, he's finally getting good crops of fruit on his tree, so he might be rivaling, but I think that ours is still probably ahead of him there. I'm looking forward to it just getting better and better in the years ahead here. Some years ago, and I don't know how many years ago, I got a Grimmel Jaboticaba from my friend Ed Self. in Texas. These are a little bit later. I told him the other day, and I'm not a real fine palate type fruit taster, but I told him I didn't notice much difference between the Sabara and the Grimmel last year, and he said he always found these to be quite a bit tastier than Sabara. Irrigation here, we have a 47-acre farm, and it's kind of complicated to explain everything, but I've got a 4-acre chestnut orchard, and the chestnuts and 2 acres of figs, and my oddball hobby trees such as these usually get watered at the same time. And my fertilizer program then really follows primarily what I'm doing with the chestnuts that are picky is about the nutrition program. But I should mention, and I mentioned this a couple of times before, that this Sabara had done very poorly for me for the first 3 years. And I remember it was sometime around July of 2011 that I reported that sorry for that loud traffic noise. There are people passing over a double yellow line. The leaves have been dropping on that tree and not producing any new foliage for 3 years, and I thought it was going to die. And I had paid $125 for this tree. It was in 2008, and it was 7 feet tall. Today, that'd be a bargain price, I think, the way things are today. But again, that's 14 years ago. But anyway, I mentioned to my chemical salesman, who's a cousin of mine, about this because I had some citrus showing chlorosis too, and he told me to try Photogreen S, and this isn't available to hobby growers. It just sold through commercial suppliers, and not that many suppliers at that. 2.5 gallon jug is maybe $65 or $75. But anyway, I remember it was quite remarkable that I had first given my citrus and noticed a big flush of nice new growth, and so I decided to give like maybe a couple of ounces or so of the Photogreen S mixed in water, irrigated this tree with a couple gallons of water with that mixed in, and in 7 days the foliage on this tree had doubled. And it was, now that Photogreen S has iron in it, manganese and sulfur, and I had used chelated iron before, no help with that. So it was quite remarkable. I'm not sure, maybe once a year I give it a little dose of that, but probably some years I've just skipped it because that's been 11 years now, and I know I've not done it every time. But anyway, quite remarkable difference with that. And so our soil here is a little bit over 7. Now this tree does get sulfuric acid when I'm irrigating the chestnut. For the past 4 or 5 years I've been injecting sulfuric acid in with my chestnut water. So I'm going to just eat this one fruit here. Yep, that fruit is ready. Very sweet. I like to wait until they're really quite ripe. I'll just show here, since the foil is off, I need to cut this off. This air layer I started like last August or so. Actually had my late worker start these and saw no roots on them by the end of the year, so I just left them. But now I see there's roots on here, so I need to pull these off and pot them up. I've got at least a dozen of them set here, and all of them have roots. Flowering, I see some fruit set on them, but most of them drop off. Last year I think I had 4 fruits. Yeah, there's roots on that air layer there. Off that way I have more trees. I got white sapote over there. Anyway, so I just want to give it an update. I've done other videos on these, and I'm just really happy with the way this tree's come along. Thanks for watching.